Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Secretary. Welcome to this committee. I've been following the border probably longer than I care to. Back when I was U.S. Attorney, Western District of Texas, to 15 years on this committee, chairman of this committee. Hard to get a good solution, but I can tell you, at least as I see it, and I just want to get your understanding that the threat has changed. It used to be in the old days we had predominantly males crossing for work. Now we have more family units than ever crossing because the coyotes understand the legal loopholes that we talk about, and they now know how to exploit them, and they're making a heck of a lot of money off it in the process and putting children in harm's way up that dangerous journey as they go northbound. In fact, in February, I think the apprehensions were 76,000 immigrants that were apprehended at the border. Then you throw on the fentanyls, the meth labs, dangerous drugs coming into this kind of human sex trafficking. I think it is a crisis. I think the president's correct in saying it's an emergency and that we need dire action now. I'm disappointed we didn't pass the Goodlatte McCaul bill last November. I think it would have solved a lot of these problems. But there were about every Democrat voted against it and 20 Republicans voted against it. That was a historic opportunity, and here we are talking about this problem when we know that the laws are the magnet that draw them into the United States of America. And until Congress acts, and I look at you and I feel not sorry, but it's not your fault. It's Congress that's failed to act to solve this problem. And until Congress acts to solve the problem, we're going to continue to have this constant problem on our border. I think the president's doing everything he can in a creative way as well to get security down there that I think is very important. But I want to also talk about root causes. You talk about the Northern Triangle. You spend a lot of time down there. I'm going down with and put my Foreign Affairs hat on. The chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee and I are going down to Colombia, to Venezuela. You have 3 million migrants coming out of Venezuela into Colombia, and they're probably going to start heading up north. This is a humanitarian crisis at its worst. We're going down there, and we're also going to go to the Northern Triangle. Can you tell us the latest on the Central American Security Initiative and how we can stop these families from paying $6,000? You must be very desperate to say, here, Coyote, I'm going to give you $6,000 to take my child up north. Very desperate situation. What can we do to stop that desperation?
I would just, in the time that I have, let me just give you a couple examples, and I can also refer back to a question that Congresswoman Jackson Lee asked me. The number of unaccompanied children is part of the humanitarian crisis. These are children whose parents decided to send them alone on a very, very dangerous journey at the hands of, most often, smugglers and coyotes or traffickers into the United States. What we hear from the Northern Triangle governments, they have said this publicly, I am sure that they will tell you when you visit them, is they want their children back. Our laws uniquely allow us to send Mexican children back home after they have gone through a process and do not have a legal right to stay. But under the law, we cannot send children from other countries back, except for Mexico and Canada. So the Northern Triangle governments have said to us, they will say to you, please send us our children back. We want them reunited with our families and communities here. We don't want the smugglers to be able to convince parents to send their children on this perilous journey where they are absolutely victims of violence and abused. As you know, sir, very unfortunately, because of the increase in violence at ICE, when we have families with children, we have to give every girl a pregnancy test over 10. This is not a safe journey. So I ask again that we change the law, we treat all children the same, and we afford them the opportunity to go back home if they have no legal right to be in the United States. The other part of this that I think we need to do is we need to find a way to be able to keep families together. Families need to be able to be kept together, go through the process. If they have a legal right to stay, we will welcome them here. If they don't have a legal right to stay, the most humanitarian thing to do is to remove them efficiently and effectively. Both of those changes we need from Congress.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I see my time has expired.